Hey everyone, it's Dim here, and I don't know what the context will be today, how it will turn out to be, because that is. Today I want to talk about something that I have a lot of shame in, that I have a lot of reservations. I don't know how I can talk and what I will try to talk. So I want to talk about the topic of sex and how it I want to share some of my beliefs, some of my experiences, and that will probably be oriented mostly at guys because I am a guy and I have usually the man's perspective from that and my perspective first and foremost. And I don't have much experience yet to just see how it is for girls as well. So it will probably be really oriented towards the male auditory. But anyway, I just I wanted to talk about some of my sexual beliefs and sexual shame and all of that stuff. For a long time, it's just because of this shame that I'm feeling. I feel like I cannot do a great job at it. Or either I don't have much experience or I don't haven't handled a lot of stuff yet. I have still a lot of this shame and just I feel myself as really at really beginner stages concerning relationships and sex and all of that stuff. Though I would even say I'm got much further in the concept of the relationships than sex, which is really strange. But yeah, anyway, that today's talk whatever I don't know what the how I will talk about all of this stuff. It probably will be in a form of vlog. I will be just talking about my thoughts. I don't know if I can make it useful. I don't know if I can make some points here and try to give some advice because quite frankly I'm discovering a lot of concepts, a lot of ideas, a lot of relations with my mind towards sexual stuff by myself just now. And like, not only now, but over the last couple of years, but it's still ongoing and there is still a lot to go to. So I hope it will be useful to relate to, but at least I just want to start talking about this and get some experience also opening up and sharing because that's one of my own goals, to be honest, as well. So this topic today was thought so okay. So it is already off to a good start, but yeah, let's go back to the this sexual shame that I was talking about. So that is really prevalent in me still, even though for the last, I don't know, like for the last at least 2 years, I was really focused on getting more experience sexually and relationship wise and just meeting a lot of girls and all. And I was literally like from the experience standpoint, I got a lot of like experience firsthand, but the beliefs inside my head, the beliefs of do I deserve that? Do I even that sex is good? That it's all still forming. It's still on the beginner stages. So I have these beliefs that because of this shame that I cannot talk about sex. That if I bring up the topic of sex to anyone, especially if, like in some meetups and some groups, even with friends, and also even with girls that I'm trying to date and trying to go on dates and talk about this stuff, I'm really reserved. I think that it is kind of shameful to even mention sex in some way And I still try, I still go through that, but because of my beliefs, it comes out always as awkward. And it's not the thing that stops any success from happening. So I had a really good successes. I had a really good people that I met, a really good girls that I was dating and slept with, and a lot of good memories, and I know it will be in the future as well. But from time to time, I get these periods that either I want to relax from it and not pursue girls in my life for a while at all, because it feels like I'm really fighting something every day that I want this, and I want this. Like, that is the truth. I knowing myself, I like the concept of sex in like the sexual stuff. I mean, I'm even talking about this trench, you see. Like, I like sexual stuff, meaning just everything related to it in any area of life. I really like joking about it. I cannot joke properly. I cannot tell, like, I think I have like a relatively normal sense of humor, but to create something from myself, to I can be sarcastic about something, but to create jokes it's harder. But still, I really like joking about sexual stuff. I really like talking about and sharing sexual experiences and stuff like that. It's probably the most interesting topic in conversations, at least on par with gym training, diet, and self-improvement, and probably futurism for me, like the technologies and what the humanity will achieve, something like that. It's one of the best interest, one of the first interest in my life. I really love this stuff. And but for some reason, for these, because in society, at least where I was raised, mm, and maybe in family as well, and all of this. I don't know exactly what caused it, but because of the stuff in my life, I am really reserved about it, and I think that I have this belief that even talking about sex will make me weirdo, will make people will label me as creep, and like no one even ever wants to talk about sex and all that. But you know what? That is all actually false. I realize that for some people it can be that, like they may not just like that. It's like a hobby. You don't like any hobby there is. But I think with sexual stuff, specifically with sex, it's like such a universal thing. There are some exceptions of people who like, but they're so singular. But that's probably the like this concept of sex is on par with food and just living. It's so paramount. If every one of us, almost every one of us has that. But for some reason we made to believe that, oh, okay, that's so private and we cannot even talk about it. And yeah, I realize there are a lot of things there that it's hard to open up to complete strangers. There's like some kinks, some really strange ideas, desires, and all of this. There is it's just huge. The sexuality is almost like a mind, and it's interesting to explore it in itself, in yourself as well. But even talking about like some basic stuff, some even joking about that, right? It's like it's the concept that was suppressed a lot, and I'm really suffering because of that. Because I like this concept. I would love talking about it. I would love joking about it. I would love talking about it as easy as it was for me talking about the job or talking about the what I want, where I want to travel, something like that. And on par, I would like I would say, what kinks do I want to try, what good experiences that did I have, something like that. That is a dream. But another thing that came out of this shame, because I only have only my perspective on that. Every girl that I dated, I may understand in some way how they feel, but I cannot internalize it, and especially because of the shame, because of the pain I'm feeling, because of the struggles that I had to go through to even have this success. So I had to overcome my approach anxiety and talk to girls. I had to go through a lot of pain on Tinder because like 90% of the girls that I write to ignore me. And for me, people ignoring me, it's like the most powerful trauma that I have. I am okay with rejections in some way, like I can be sad about it. But if people ignore me, that is really hard for me. For that was always the case for me. And here, where I been ignored by so many girls, it is really hard. It was really hard for me at the start. I had a lot of burnouts. I just quit Tinder and dating in general for months at a time. I self-sabotaged myself by not responding after the like I meet some girl on the first date and we do have like good time and talk with each other and like there is something, and then I'll just not respond because how I thought it would be disaster, like no one can like me. And I had this belief and I still have it in some way. Yeah, this idea that I am suffering and I only know my perspective caused me something that I'm still suffering from today as well. This thing that I feel like I know that it's not true. I know that logically, but it's even hard for me to admit that I know that. But the belief inside me is I have it so hard and girls have it so easy. So for a long time I had a huge, I forgot the word. I had a like I didn't treat them good, and I'm not talking about like literally didn't treat them good, but in my mind I was always kind of bitter, I was angry, and I self-sabotaged myself, and I didn't even want to do something for them, even like small amount of my effort at the start. And I still really salty about how I most of the times need to all of the initiative depends only on me. If I don't do if I won't do anything, like nothing will happen. And it's still like it hurts me. It still hurts me, and I understand that I only lived in two traditional countries that it's prevalent. Like the man should take the initiative. And that is the case with a lot more than just traditional countries. But I feel like in more like Western societies and more open-minded countries, people are more open-minded. It's easier. Like I wouldn't have carry everything only on me. Even in friendships with girls, I feel like at the start I can make something happen, and that kind of affects my life in a bad way, and I don't like that. And so I had this concept as well because I was really averse to even like to girls, and I treated them as my enemy for a long time, even though I logically understood that it's not the case. They like we'll just have different problems. I may have problem with people ignoring me, with girls just doesn't want to do anything with me, and I have to like push hard through a lot of rejections and trying to prove myself and something like that. And I understand that for girls it's different. It's more about finding some like vetting people. There can be a lot of candidates, but you need to find someone who wouldn't hurt you. And that's probably the like general distribution of power in the world. But point is, we all have our own problems. They can be different. And problem that I'm having, and I because I see that girls don't struggle with that, with the problem that I have, that I have to like text or talk with like hundreds of girls for one of them to like respond even to me. That's exaggerated, of course, but it feels like that, right? And because of that, because of this, I'm still can't remember the word, but like because of this idea that okay, they have it much easy and I can resentment. Yeah, I remember that. So because of this resentment that built towards the girls, it's like in general for me, it transferred towards sex as well. Like I, even though for the last year I really cultivated in myself the idea that I am really open-minded towards sex. I am open-minded towards girls that want sex. I was taking part in like that was 1 year ago, but I was taking part in literally sex parties where people just go and can like do sexual stuff, like maybe not proper sex, but like sexual stuff, and then just meet each other. I had a lot of awesome people there. I met them. So while I have became more open towards that, and my shame also reduced a lot. There is still this resentment inside that I have to do so much for anyone to be interested in me, and that I cannot feel that anyone can interest me, and so I have to get sex from girls. That is the concept, that is the story that is in my head and that I'm trying to beat for a long time already. Like at least, but like consciously for half a year already. And probably will try to beat for, I don't know, maybe it will disappear after a week. Who knows? But for now it is there. And so this idea that I have to get girls to like me, I have to get girls to sleep with me, I have to do a lot of stuff, and by myself I cannot be attractive. I cannot be like the object of sexual attraction. It's hard to believe that, even with all of the improvements I made for the last couple of years. Okay, I'm back. My alarm went off as always. I forget to remove it. So, I was talking about what I was talking about. Yeah, with all of the improvements that I made in the last couple of years, I think when I started, it's really visible. Like I changed my image, I changed my mental state. There are a lot of improvements, and I started having much more success. And it's not about luck anymore, it's about me knowing what I need to do. So it all definitely became better. What I was talking about. So even with that, uh, oh, whatever. I don't remember the point that I was trying to make before. I think that with even all of these improvements, I still find myself not being able to, not believing that I can be object of attraction. I still have to like feel that in some way. I still wait for the opportunity to feel that way. And I know that I will eventually, and I know that I will fix my mental state eventually, and I won't even need that external validation. But for now, this is something that I feel like I really need, this external validation of someone just knowing that I can be likable. And yeah, so back to the point of, that was a little bit of a backstory for me. And so all of this idea that I cannot be attractive and all, for some reason, this another idea just was in my head, like with this sexual shame that I cannot talk about sex, I cannot mention, I cannot, if I will show in some way that I am attracted sexually to some girl, that is bad. I have this idea still. Even though I go against it every time, I still have it. And so it feels like, again, the another story in my head that girls cannot like sex. And so I need to get it from from them, and to return some other favor. So it's like an exchange, it's like a trade. So I'm getting sex and I have to give something in return. And that is strange, because the thing that I like in sex more is giving pleasure, is having my partner feel better, feel awesome, like having some girl just moan and have an orgasm, and feel that, when I feel that she feels so awesomely, that is one of the main sources of fun in sex for me. And so it's kind of strange that that is sex for me, and still I have to give something in return. So I would, it is a strange belief, right? Like believing, like not seeing the result in the reality. Like I see how girls can like sex, and from the society, from just observing how I don't have, I don't do a really great job at it, but for example, seeing girls write about, if there are some sexual jokes to be made like online on streams or something like that, they will be made by a lot of girls. So they like to like joke sexually and do all of this stuff. All people like that usually, if we are not trying to convince ourselves that all, like, okay, I won't generalize, but there are a lot of girls and guys like that who like joking about this stuff. Also, there are a lot of things like sexual novels and like just for girls' imagination, and just the idea that in the sex itself, a lot of girls like that and they want that to repeat. I had some of the experiences that I can remember where girls specifically made it clear that they wanted to see me, but I couldn't, I cannot internalize that. And that is because of the shame, and because of this belief that how it cannot be. But now today, where I was thinking about it, and I was encountering once more how girls can just joke about sexual stuff, it once again clicked with me. Like it did click before, and I probably will forget that for now, and I will have to repeat that again in the future. And it's a process, and it's iterative process of convincing, of changing this belief, this limiting belief that hurts me. Like only I can like sex, girls won't like sex, and that is the limiting belief. That is self-sabotaging belief. But yeah, like noticing that once more, it clicked with me today again that this strange phrase that sounds ridiculous, I mean, it's obvious, like girls like sex, and it's obvious, so it's ridiculous to say that even. But for some reason it was something that I needed to hear. That's something that I said to myself that I needed to hear. And I need to hear that from time to time because I forget about that. And from that idea, from the idea that we people, we humans, we like sex. Sex is important to us. It's one of the main drivers of society. Like it was always with us and will always be with us. And that is a pathway to removing the shame. It is a pathway to believing that I can talk about sex with people. I can joke about it. I can discuss something. I can share myself. I can open up about it. I can ask girls. I can tell them that I like them, even if I won't be reciprocated. That is okay to be one directional at it. If I won't expect anything in return, if I just be the sexual person that I always wanted to be, if I won't suppress myself, if I will remove these limiting beliefs that I have, if I detach from my ego that tells me that if I even mention something sexual, I will be an outcast. And no person will like me if I even mention that. I have this belief. That stops me in so many ways. And so it clicked with me once again. I hope I will be able to apply that. It's okay. It's okay to open up. Not a lot of people will. I don't know. I believe that counting on myself, even though I cannot say anything sexual to people, when I hear someone joking about sexual stuff or talking about sexual stuff, I was like, that is awesome. Like, no matter how awful the joke is, it's not, it's not repulsive. It's like, I like that some people can be so open, and I want to learn that for myself. And I believe a lot of people are okay or even want to talk about something sexual somewhere inside. It's such an ingrained topic, such an ingrained area of life. It's really important. So obviously people want to talk about it, want to mention it in some way. But probably they are afraid of doing that first or even responding to that. But it doesn't mean that is bad. And even if so people think it was inappropriate or bad or talking about sex is like it's some such private stuff and all that, that is okay. That is just the beliefs that some people had. And so what I want to say today to myself and to you guys, that's probably again addressed to guys because that is a guy perspective, but if for some girls it will be relatable, even if you're still listening to that, maybe you will find some good things to relate to my perspective or something like that. So what I wanted to say is, embracing this sexual side of yours, it is okay. You may not be liked by a lot of people, but that is okay. You cannot be liked by everyone. But what I will guarantee you, that there are people there. If you will be in some group and you will start talking about something sexual and start joking about something sexual, whatever, there is a really good chance that there are someone there who will really like that. There are probably some people there who won't like that, but some people will be just neutral, maybe a bit repulsed, maybe like something, and they will forget about it. There will definitely be people who will remember you for that. And that is me convincing myself as well. Because I definitely know a couple of groups that I've been to, and I remember the guys who are just joking sexually with a lot of stuff, just about everything. Almost everything turns sexual, and that is really fun. I really like that. And I was just listening to that guy particularly a lot more just to try to comprehend how is it possible to just have really normal topics and turn them into something sexual and joke about them in a sexual way and just try to even like say something so people would be a little bit embarrassed, but they are okay, they are laughing, they are like having fun with it. And that is what happens. There are people who like this stuff because it's so ingrained in us, so paramount. That's what I want to convince myself. That's what I want to tell you, give you a permission as well, and give myself a permission as well, to just be open about sexual stuff. You don't have to be open about anything. It's okay to talk about sex. It's okay to be awkward at it because you didn't have a lot of practice, probably. You didn't have a lot of experience, and that is okay. That is okay to disappoint people. That is okay to make people embarrassed. That is okay for some people just hating you for it, for being so open. And that is also okay to accept the people who will like you for your openness and straightforwardness. It is also okay to be liked by someone who will find your sexual side attractive. You will have that. You're being true to yourself. If you really want that, if you really want to express your sexual side that was always been suppressed, it's okay to do that. Your life will be better. Even if even if for some reason for a while you won't find people who will really like that, at least you will be true to yourself. At least you won't be suppressing one of the most important parts of you. That is really important. At the end of the day, there was a really good phrase that I heard a long time ago. At the end of the day, you're the one person who will go and sleep by yourself with your own thoughts. And it won't matter what any other person thinks about you. You will be one with yourself, with your own thoughts, with your own reactions, with the things that you expressed, with something that you've been true to yourself. You didn't lie to yourself that, oh, I cannot say that. Oh, I don't like that. Something like that. You won't try to convince yourself that it's not you. You will just go and be yourself, no matter what consequences it will bring. Because that is the most important thing, to be true to yourself. To have this open-minded and completely honest relationship with the only person that will always be with you, with yourself. That is really important. So, if you have some sexual shame, if you have something that you really suppressed in yourself, if you have some desires, for guys out there, if you're ashamed of your desire to meet a lot of girls, to have a lot of sexual experience, to have casual relationships, even to have one-night stands. They may not be good long-term, like for your life solution, but they can be something that's really good at knowing yourself, anything that you want, any kind of relationship that you want. If you want open relationships, fine, go for it. If you find relationships when you with the in a relationship with different girls at the same time, like how is this called, like ménage trois, something like that in French, where you're in a relationship with two girls at the same time. If everyone likes that, that is possible for you. It may be hard to do. Any relationship is hard to do. Some of them are harder, some of them are easier. But the point of it is not to like talk about different kinds of relationships, but to tell you that no matter what you actually want from life, any dream that you have, anything that you are ashamed of to admitting, it is possible. Just find people who are yeah, I'm talking like just fine. Yeah, it is hard. It may take a lot of time. It may take a lot of effort in improving yourself. Elite relationships, elite types of relationships, these unique ones, will require you to be elite and unique. You don't have to be on top, but you will have to be quite good. But that is another topic about self-improvement in general. But just what I wanted you to say, that don't be ashamed. Sorry. Don't be ashamed of anything that you want, especially sexual stuff. I know how it can be. I know how painful it can be. So I give you permission to be open about anything sexual, about anything that you want, about any of your desires. I'm giving you permission to go there and find people who will like that. I'm giving you permission to disappoint people who won't like that while you are searching. I'm giving you permission to just follow your dreams, to make life exactly as you want it to be, to have people in your life that you really want. So that turned really passionate towards the end, because I'm talking to myself first and foremost. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you got something out of it. I definitely got a lot of it. That will probably be one of them episodes that I will listen to myself several times, that I will save. I hope that it gave something to you as well. Once again, I understand if you have shame. I understand that if it's hard, that is okay, to accept that, to embrace that, and to go and make it happen. Make whatever you want happen. I'm wishing you good luck, and I'm really rooting for you. You will make it happen. It is possible. I give you permission. You are allowed to make it a reality. You are allowed to accept your sexual side. You are allowed to explore your sexuality. You are allowed to follow anything that you want.